if you're having a party and you have like 40, 50 kids, you know, they'll get so bored, and before you know it, they're turning the whole place upside down. But with me in the house, trust to keep the kids entertained. So what we do is just get them busy with lots of games. Their favorite is always pass the parcel. And apart from entertaining them, Brenda Daisy Entertainment and Kiddies Party Food, we provide them with their favorite food as well, like popcorn, candy floors, hot dog, nibbles. That's their favorite as well, where you have different kind of food, you know, platter on the table, so they can just pick and choose whatever they want. But you know, it's a very interesting job, and I really, really like it.
So how long have you been in this trade?
I've been doing this for like 3 years now. Before, it used to be something that I used to do when my friends and
just
family are having, you know, a get together at home. You know, I always know all the tricks in the book to use for the kids. So they said, Brenda, why are you wasting your talents? Why don't you turn this into a business? And I thought, yeah, why not? Let me give it a try. So, and I would say thank you to one person who actually pushed me to, you know, go ahead with this, my auntie.
So when you started it, there was no looking back?
There was no looking back. And, you know, I'm so happy I actually followed my heart. You know, it's been very interesting.
So how did you come about that name, Brenda Daisy? Very catchy name.
You don't want to know, I'm telling you. I sat down.
Our viewers will want to know.
It was quite a difficult one, so to speak. You know, I sat down, I thought, okay, what name could I actually put down that would go with, you know, entertaining children? And I thought, you know, I don't want to leave out my name. So I thought, okay, Brand. The brand would be, you know, the first 3 letters of my name, which is Brenda. And the D is for my, the letter for my surname. And the daisy, obviously daisy is a very beautiful flower that everybody likes. So I just joined the 3 together. And it's nice.
So everybody knows Brenda Daisy as, you know, when you go to parties and you kind of, you know, everybody already knows that name.
They do. In fact, my friends and family now, it's so difficult to call me by my name. Before, you know, going anywhere, we're like, Brenda Daisy, and they've forgotten all about my name. But
so
it's
that
really
name,
nice.
That name has, you know, it's part of you now.
It is part of me. Even my kids at home would call me sometimes and say, Brenda Daisy, and it just makes me laugh. But
yeah. So out of your busy schedule at home, being a mother, how do you squeeze out time to do this job? Because I know it's a time-consuming job.
It is. But you know, that's why they say in life it's always good to go for something that you enjoy doing. When you enjoy a certain thing, it doesn't become a job anymore. It's like part of me. So I don't know how I do it, but even sometimes when I come back home and I go like on a Friday, because most jobs are always Saturdays and Sundays, or some of them as well are during the week, I just go like, oh my God, I'm tired. And just guess what? As soon as it's Saturday morning or the day of the event, as soon as I get to the venue, it's like something else, it's somebody else. And I don't get tired. When I finish, I go like, oh my God, it's been a hectic day, but I do try to fit it in, you know, because I enjoy it so much. It's not like, you know, it's just part of me. It's like I'm doing what I enjoy doing.
So I've actually seen you at a party perform before, and I saw all the kind of things you do with these kids. I mean, how do you cope? Because it's quite it's very energetic, I must say. Do you go to the gym, or do you have to do that before you kind of?
You know, it's just like I said earlier on, because something I enjoy doing is not stressful to me. The kids, although it can be challenging sometimes when you get there, you know, you see like 40 different kids from different family. You go like, okay, I'm in for it today. But somehow, you know, I just try to entertain the kids as much as possible, you know, and because, like I said earlier on, because it's part of me, you know, I don't find it stressful at all.
Anymore.
And during the time when I entertain, you know, you'd find some other kids who, you know, they don't want to know. they just don't want to know what you're doing. They're not interested.
So
I
they
still
just
try,
wander around.
they just wander around. But because, I am very good with children, I know what they like and what they don't like. I still manage to find a way to keep them entertained, especially the ones that are a little bit challenging, where, they don't want to get involved in the entertainment. What I do is give them a task or get them involved in my thing. That makes them feel really important. Like, I'm not part of the children she's entertaining, but I'm part of the staff.
Okay.
So I kind of like give them something to do, like, what, why don't you help me watch other kids? Or why don't you help me, blow the balloons? Or why don't you just watch the gifts so that other kids don't touch it? So that way I get their attention and, they do as I say. So it's, so that's how I get about it.
In a party where you have about, let's say about 40, 50 kids, is it just you?
No, I've got my staff. So what we do is that's why when customers call me, I try to find, ask them how number of kids I'll be entertaining. So it depends on the number of kids that I'm entertaining that will determine how many staff that I take along with me. But most times it's always about 3 to 4 staff that I carry along. So, and especially if, the customers want both entertainment and party food. So we'd have some as well who would serve the children.
Okay, so that brings me to the next question: party foods. What sort of party foods do you?
Like I said earlier on, kids, they love their hot dog. They love their candy floors, they love their popcorn, they love their sausage rolls, they love their cakes, they love in fact, just so many things. Especially the candy floor. The favorite is candy floors, but it's just like, apart from entertainment, you just see that, customers, or I would say parents, they depend so much on, not depend, but they do trust entertainers to give them the right advice, because we tend to go to a lot of parties, so we know all the positive and negative aspect of it. So most times as well, they will call us and say, Brenda, I want party food as well. Which one do you think the kids would love? And I always tell them, I said, kids, when you give them to jollof rice or their fried rice, they'll tell you they will not go near it. Some of them would, like one of my kids, she would not like rice. She doesn't like rice. And obviously she's in the UK. She'd rather go for pounded yam or eba. So some of the kids like that would go for the fried rice and jollof rice. But most kids would prefer, to have eat their hot dog, which is going to be like a main food for them at the party. And obviously during summer, it's very hot. So I always advise parents to go for things like slush drink, which is very cold and icy. So that keeps them going, it keeps them calm. And it's quite colorful, so you can see them, saying, "Oh, I want slush drink. I want mixed one. Can you mix the pink with the blue?" So it's quite nice. It's lovely. And one of the challenges again is when you have party food going on and you're entertaining, it does a little bit distract the kids. So I always try to arrange with parents and tell them, what, during the entertainment we'll be having breaks where the party food will not be. The fun food will not be served. Or else, trust me, you will not find no kid in front of you. All they'll be doing is going for the popcorn and, So, yeah. And apart from the fun food or Kiddies Entertainment, I also provide wedding crash, which is, when the wedding is going on, not just weddings, any kind of adult party, 40th, 30th, conferences, or maybe, some other adult stuff, sometimes church activities, so we just keep the kids in a room and we entertain them. We do some painting.
So that aside of party entertainer, you also do that as well.
We do that. And apart from entertaining children, I also provide coordinate like baby showers, or like I said, 40th parties. Sometimes people want something like an icebreaker, again, to kickstart the party. So it's just, keep the adults laughing and entertained before the real event starts.
Do you entertain the adults as well?
Oh, I do, yes. Especially the baby showers or the hen nights or bridal showers. You just, Oh my God, adults turn into kids.
Yeah.
See them screaming every night when I finish my entertainment. By the time I go home, in fact, I find the adult more
interesting,
more interesting but challenging than the kids. You know, the kids will still respect you that, oh, this is an adult, but the adults forget it. They just go like, they're all so carried away. You see the ladies, you hear them screaming, especially when it's time for the games. You know, it's like something to wind their brain and keep their brain going. Some of them that have been out of university for like 5-6 years, you ask them some silly questions, you know, like the Scrabble thing where you mix and match all the words and tell them to put it together. But, you know, like I said, because it's part of me and I love to entertain people and make wherever it is I am, I love to make people, I like to keep them entertained.
Now looking at the party aspect of it, I mean, looking after the kids at parties. As I said earlier on, I've been to one of your parties where you were entertaining the kids. In terms of the costume that you know kind of bring to your parties, what sort of costumes do you think will attract children? You know,
colorful stuffs, to be precise. You know, kids, when they see bright colors, it does attract them. So you know, when I just started, you know, I never used to probably give them costumes. What I do is just go on with entertainment and do some other stuff like painting. But, you know, I realized that one day, one of the kids at a party where I was entertaining, a lot of them always loved my wig.
Oh, right.
They're like, oh, auntie, can I wear your wig just for a second? Auntie, oh, I love your wig, it's pink. Even when I meet them outside the party at another event, auntie, where is your wig? Some of them ask, auntie, is it real? So I thought,
own personal wig?
My own personal wig
Right,
I use for my work. So I thought, all right, let me, you know, try and get a lot of costumes. So that's why I've got the the feathery muffler, hats, wigs, different colors, and they love it. You know, pom-poms, shakers, tambourine. And that alone, some kids, when they sit down at first and they're not joining in, as soon as they see
all that,
you know, all of them wearing their wigs, shaking their tambourines, you just see them flying out. They fly out. And apart from that, we do take mascots with us. You know, different kind of characters, Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, you know, children characters. And the favorite actually is the Mickey Mouse. The reason why is because Mickey Mouse is quite, you know, the age range.
That's what they watch
quite
on TV,
yeah,
right?
it's quite wide, you know. I still watch Mickey Mouse and I laugh. You know, I see Goofy, Minnie Mouse, and I still laugh.
We used to watch Mickey Mouse as well.
Exactly. So you see what I'm saying. So a baby from 5 months or 1 year to 2 years to 3 years loves Mickey Mouse, and a child of 6, 7, 8, you know, still love Mickey Mouse. So most times, that's why, you know, a lot of customers, when they call me and they go like, oh, Brenda, you know, I want to use this, what mascot do you advise me to use? And I tell them, okay, if you haven't got a proper team, you know, just go for Mickey Mouse, because the age range is quite, you know, unlike if you use mascots like Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is quite for, you know, the babies. A 5-year-old or 6-year-old will go like, Winnie the Pooh, of course. But Mickey Mouse, the adults, you know, still love it. So Mickey Mouse is,
so
you know, the most popular.
And take care of all the, you know, the age groups.
Yeah.
Do you also do parties for kids, say about 10-year-old kids?
Yes, we do. There's something I just started actually. What I thought, because you know, from age 10, the kids always feel like they're grown ups, they're not babies anymore. So what we've just started, which, you know, some of you can call us and we can do that for you, is do like a mini house party, you know, where the 10-year-old can just invite like 15 to 10 kids of their age, and, you know, would give them a pampering session at home, and would have, you know, like some of the food that you've seen. The neighbors, you know, can just put everything on the table, and they just feel like adults. You know, they're actually the ones controlling their party and telling you, auntie, I want this. Even the one I did last, you know, was just like a living room thing where we just tell the parents, you know what, just leave the house and just go. It's just me and this 10-year-old kid, you know, we're there, we read magazines, we do questions, we do karaoke, pampering session. There was one I did for the girls, you know, the girl, she was 10 years old, and we had pampering session for the girls, painting their nails, facials. You know, they actually felt like adults, and they really, really love it. So,
one of another thing I was going to ask you, Brenda, is when you go to parties, and you have kids all running around, how do you kind of manage to to get those kids that try to wander around, get them together in one place? Because I've been to parties where you see kids just running everywhere, and you don't have any control of how to look after them. How do you go about that?
I do. You know, I always tell parents, you know, when they ask me sometimes and say, "Oh, Brenda, what would you be doing on the day?" And I tell them, to be honest with you, if I tell you this is exactly what I'll be doing, I would be lying to you, because every party and every crowd is different. You know, you can be at a party. There was a party I did 2 weeks ago, and I could not believe it. The kids were just so perfect. Like, you know, you tell them, sit here, they all sit. Stand up, they all stand. Let's do this, they all do it. And there's some other kids that, you know, they just don't want to know.
Was there any particular thing you did at that party that made those kids sit down?
You know, I wouldn't say there's any special thing, actually. There could be, because I know, definitely, I know what I do, and I'm so proud of my job, and I'm so proud of myself. I know I've got the talent. So, you know, the question you're asking, I would say is, I'm not able to give a specific answer to say this is how I'll put them together. When I get there, you know, the motivation and, you know, the truth just comes to my head, and I'll go like, okay, what can I do? But most times, you know, sometimes I just try to tell them, you know, kids, if you're not here with me, that's my word, if you're not here with me, you're not getting no party bag at the end of the party. As soon as they hear that, they start running out.
All kids like party
they
bags.
love party bags. And some of the games I do as well, you know, I do give the kids while they're with me. I try to give them one thing or the other. So that as well makes them come out and stay with me, because they know at a point in time you'd be there trying to get something. So that's why I always carry, you know, a very big bag of sweeties with me.
Okay, I mean, to call you out for a party, how long do you need to be, you know, kind of make a booking for a party, say, coming up next week, or about 2 weeks' time? How long notice do we need to give?
You know, to be honest, I always advise my customers to call well ahead, at least, to be honest, maybe about like 3-4 months beforehand, because if you do a good job, you see people would want to, you know, they don't want to lose that, they want to use your service. You know, I remember like 3 weeks ago, someone called me and said they wanted a particular date, and, you know, having discussed and explained everything to them, they were like, all right, we'll get back to you. And because I'm giving a service, I don't want to be, you know, like I'm disturbing someone or trying to force them to use my service. So I just tell them, all right, get back to me. And by the time this person called back, a week after, the date was gone. You know, she was really surprised. I said, you know, when I spoke to you, you know, because I know that other people want to use my service, that was why, you know, I wanted you to, you know, book the place at least. So people should give us about 3 months, 2 months notice, yes.
So how busy are you?
That's how busy, yes.
Okay. In terms of children, what advice would you have for parents? You know, let's talk general now. What sort of fun do you think you want to advise parents to always provide for their kids to make them happy?
You know, like I said, you know, kids don't like to be idle. They don't like to just stay without doing anything. So because they're at home, obviously party time is party time, home time is home time. During the week they go to school.
Yeah, but you
so
as a mother, if you're at home, some kids like to spend most of their time on playing games, iPads and on iPads and all that.
I know the technology.
As a mother, what sort of games would you kind of encourage children to engage in, rather than staying focused on playing games? You know,
I would advise that, you know, they should do more of, things that would motivate them or solve something close to what they would do in school, like painting. There's a website now, at least that my kids' school have given to, the website, they're giving it to parents to encourage their kids to go on, and it's called, Mathletics. So on that website, it's got loads of things, if kids, rather than playing the Wii or other games, they can go there and do maths, English, drawing, painting, but it's more educative rather than something that they'll just waste their time on. So as a mom, what I just do is when my kids come back from school, they have a little bit of nibbles to eat, have their lunch, then go onto the computer to do mathletics.
Okay, you don't have any play area that you've made out for them to...
Yeah, there's a play area in the room, because to be honest, I don't like when kids just throw toys all over the place. So they've got a play area in their room, and they've got a toy box. So they bring everything out, they play with it, and as soon as they're finished, they put it back in the box. It's just a way to train them as well, to be able to tidy up, not just thinking, after playing, we can just throw things around. So yeah.
I know Brandeis is based in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go outside the UK too?
I do. At least we've been to Birmingham, we've been to Manchester, we've been to France, we've been to Ireland.
Oh, so you've been outside the UK?
Yes, and we're planning. Some people are trying to hire us in Nigeria and in America as well. So that's the next step.
So you're going all over the world?
Yes, we go anywhere.
That's great.
Just like I said, a lot of times people will say, "Oh, when you're going to Manchester, when you're going to Birmingham, how do you do? Carrying all your stuff around." I said, "You know what? I enjoy what I do, so it's not a problem for me. As long as I know that I'm entertaining children, and I will be dancing myself, it's no problem at all."
Okay. Anyway, I know so many people are looking to start a trade like this. What sort of advice would you give to people who are looking up to, starting
to be an entertainer
business like yours?
What always advice is just like any other job or hobby. You have to really love what you're doing. You really need to love what you're doing. Like we've said earlier on, to look and entertain after kids is not an easy task at all. Like I've just had 2 trainees, and the last job where I worked, they were just like, "Oh my God, Brenda, how you doing? You've been standing for almost 5 hours now, and you're not even showing any sign of being tired." I was like, you know what? I enjoy it. It's not work to me. It's like as if I'm having fun. It's a passion. So it just comes out. So I would say, if you want to go for this sort of business, you need to be someone who loves to play around, jump around, love children, and have loads and loads of energy.
I can imagine. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on the program, Brenda.
Thank you.
And we sincerely want to thank you for coming to Future Plus to speak to us about how to look after children. And that's all we'll be able to take on today's edition of Point Blank. Brenda has been able to tell us point blank on how to look after children, and I hope you've had a wonderful time with her. Until next week, where we shall be coming your way again with another interesting edition of Point Blank. I'm yours, Demola Alawade.
afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I mean, it's a universal program we have here. This is the Don Pedro Show. It's going to be the greatest African show on earth.